Hello, everybody. How you doing? Let's see. I'm going to give it a minute to see who shows up here. Can y'all hear me? Let me know in the comments if you can. I am still trying to figure out all my settings. So let's see. Hi. And there's a slight delay, so... Okay. All right. You can hear me? Good. Hi. How's it going, everybody? Having a good weekend? It's been a busy one for me. Running all over the place, doing all sorts of errands and stuff, so I'm tired, but this is going to get me energetic again. This is going to be fun. So this is my very first live streaming. I'm really excited. I'm probably going to ramble on and just talk to myself a lot here. So pop in the comments, give me questions, give me things to talk about. What do you want to know? Yeah. And I'm going to do some signings, of course, because there's some amazing prints I've got here that I'm so excited to get into your hands. So, oh, hello, Cranbug Natalie. Good to see you. Cool. You can hear me. Excellent. That's good to know. All right, so I apologize for all the messiness back here. This is this is my studio and also the room where I homeschool my kids and also my cosplay area and also where I draw. So it's just clutter city. But hey, there's lots of seek and find stuff. Just see all the things you can figure out what's behind me. It's pretty messy. How's everyone doing? We'll get started with the signings in a minute. I just want to give people a chance to find the link and pop in here. All right. Cool. So, have you been playing Honkai Star Rail 2, Natalie? It's pretty awesome. We're obsessed with it in this house. My kids play it all the time too, and I do as well. We're almost up to level 60 with all my characters. And they're probably past that. They're 10 and 7 and they managed to do really well at it. So let's get some of these prints ready. I spent yesterday putting some cool holo film on these prints. Now, this one was by the amazing, I don't know if you can see it, Alina Lalik. Look how sparkly it turned out. The cool thing is so much of the holographic overlay that I looked into is the broken glass type, and it looks great on a lot of prints, but what I loved is I found this star art that goes right over the top of it, and it actually matches what she put in the artwork. So there's some little star shapes that are exactly the same as what's on the holographic film. So it turned out really nice. You guys are gonna love these. It doesn't look as great on camera because it's so shiny, but ooh, it's cool on your wall and everything. So I can't wait for you guys to see that. And then my other print that I have is one that I actually drew myself. Yeah. So I started out as an animator, so I love to illustrate stuff and create character design as well. So I thought I'd give some variety there, and we've got two lovely prints to choose from. So let's take a look and see what we got going on here. I know, they're gorgeous, aren't they? I've been following this artist for years, and I always kind of wanted to have a character that I could have somebody commission a piece for me, so I was so excited when this one came up and I could finally ask her to do one. She did an amazing job. So, yeah. All right, I'm gonna check my queue here. Now that my iPad has locked me out. Let's see. So we have, first of all, Randy. Okay, now, Randy, you gave me a big challenge here. He said, big Tingyun fan, love your work. Can you draw a little D-ting next to the signature if you're able to? If not, a cat is fine. Thank you very much. Okay, so you're putting me, the artist stuff to the challenge. All right. I have never drawn D-ting before. And in fact, when I saw this order come in, I hadn't even played through the game to that point yet. I remembered D-ting from the recording session. I remembered all about him, but I had never seen a picture of what he looked like. So let's pull up a picture of D-Ting, because if I just draw him from memory, you're going to end up with some sort of weird creature, fuzzy dog beast. So let's get a little bit of a sample here. All right, D-Ting. Honkai Star Rail. No, not editing. Oh my gosh, I swear. Autocorrect hates me. I did not type editing. D-Ting. Okay. I think we're getting some things. Okay, he's awfully cute. He reminds me a little bit of Poppy, but more like Chinese dragon. So, ooh, that is going to be a challenge, but we are going to try here. Okay. All right. Let's grab one of those beautiful holo prints. Now, where did I put them? I'm a mess. I am not the most organized person, I tell you. Here we go. I knew I set them somewhere last night. I had all these drawers. Okay. First holo. Oof. Here's the challenge. Okay. This one's yours, Randy. Now, which colors should I use? What do you think? I got all these paint pens. And what do you think? So for this, maybe gold down here? What do you think? Or silver up here? There's so many options. It's so sparkly though, and I don't want to cover up the artwork, so I want to make sure it turns out good. So let's get going on that. Okay. Whew. I'm gonna go with gold down by the tail. Unless you have any other preferences, Randy. Let me know if you are here. These paint pens are amazing, by the way. They're so cool. They have a thin end and a thick end, so you can do all kinds of things. All right, my very first signing. Ah! Here we go. Whew, okay, so there's my signature. Now, we get to do the little D-Ting. So, okay, here we go. D-Ting. Now he went away. Ah. Okay. Man, I'm gonna have to draw this from memory. D-Ting. Okay. Here we go. You're probably not gonna be able to see me draw this, but I am going to do my very best while I talk to you guys. Okay, I'm gonna start with some white. So many choices. Okay. He's got these cute little eyebrows and a cute little like puffy nose thing going and little doggy ears. Gosh, I'm so worried I'm gonna mess this up. Everybody always likes to put us on the spot and make us draw stuff, and it's so nerve-wracking on these gorgeous prints because we don't want to mess it up. But I will do my very best for you. And hopefully he doesn't turn out looking like a cow or something. All right. Oh, he needs his little tail, of course. There we go. All right, so we got the little white part down. Now we're gonna add the red. Gosh, if I have red, I thought I did. Okay, here's a dark red. We'll go for that. Okay, you got red ears and a red head. Little pom-pom things on his nose and a tongue. Oh, he's so adorable. I love D-Ting. I need one of them to help me find things that I lose. Like my other red pin. Okay. Here we go. Okay, now he's got some interesting eye colors. He's got kind of like green and yellow. So I'll do a little bit of yellow, and then we'll finish him off here and move on. You gotta shake these ones so the paint comes to the tip. It's pretty cool though. Okay. Yellow. I am such a perfectionist when it comes to art stuff. I'm like, I must get it right. I'm sure you don't even care as much, but I want to make it nice for you. All right, so here's little D-Ting, almost done. Oh, he's so cute. He's got some yellow. All right, and green. Wow, he's elaborate. Okay, it's not going to be exact, but he is cute. All right, finish this off with a little white. I'm trying to remember, does D-Ting make any little sounds? Does he bark? Yeah, he does a little robotic bark, doesn't he? When he finds something. All right. Here is my very best little D-Ting. He's just hanging out on Tingyun's tail there. So that is for you, Randy. And let me know, do you want me to put your name on it? If you do, let me know. I can absolutely do that. All right. Let's see what we've got next here. Oh, we got a question. So what first got me into voice acting and how did I start? Oh, so, okay, I mentioned earlier that I started out in animation. My dad actually worked on some video games, like computer games, way back in the 90s. If you remember Sierra Online, they did things like King's Quest and Quest for Glory and all those fun little computer games that were RPGs. He worked on a lot of those, and he was working on King's Quest 7, and I loved going in and kind of watching all the artists work on things. It was basically like a playable Disney movie. And I remember watching some of the voice actors record lines and things for that and for Quest for Glory. And I loved it. It was so much fun. But even then, it didn't occur to me that it was a career. Yeah. So I just thought it was some fun thing that, you know, people did. And I wanted to go into the art side of things. So I always wanted to be an artist, an animator. And I went to animation school for a while, studied that, and it was a blast. I love animation and cartoons and telling stories. But as I worked more and more in the field, I was finding it was really hard to find a steady job. And if you wanted a family or you wanted some stability, it was very difficult to have that, because you would often work on a project and then it would end and your job would be over. And then there was a lot of like fighting to get the next job and kind of things. And it was just, it got a little frustrating. So I went freelance. I would start animating cartoons and things. And a lot of my clients would say things like, oh, we're doing this animated little cartoon. We need a mom. We need a little boy. We need a bear or something like that. And I would just, to save money and time, since I was animating it, I would say, oh, well, let me just throw in a voice here or there. I can help with that. And assuming if they wanted to replace it later, well, they ended up loving it and often passing my name along. And it just kind of snowballed from there. And I started realizing, hey, this kind of lets me use all my skills, all my theater I've done my whole life, and all the little voices that I've always been mimicking and singing and all that. It's like acting through animation. But I don't have to draw it out. I don't have to be on camera or on stage. I can just be anything I want to be and get to use my imagination every day. So I learned more and more about voice acting and just kind of studied it as best I could. Made a demo, started building my studio, and it kind of went from there. You know, once you get that first job, people pass your name along, and it started to kind of roll from there. And now I've been voice acting for about 10 years, and I absolutely love it. My kid is now doing some voice acting as well, so that's kind of fun. We get to record him at home in the booth and do that together, and I get cool opportunities like this to do video games. I mean, I love Tingyun and I love Honkai Star Rail, so I'm so lucky to be a part of that and thrilled that they invited me to be a part of it. So yeah, that's it. It's a fun job, and I always say if you want to do it, yes, study a lot. get some mentors, take some acting classes, but it's definitely doable and it's a great thing to do. Yeah. All right, so this is gonna be number 2. Who we've got next? Natalie, you are up. All right. Aw, she says, I'm such a fan of Tingyun and how you voice her. She became one of my favorite characters. Mine too, yeah. Can you please write peace? Peace is above all things. Peace. Peace is above all things. I agree with that statement. That's a good one. All right, let's get your beautiful holo here ready. Oh my goodness. I pick them up and then I set them down again and forget where I set them. If my head was not attached, I would lose it. All right, here is a pretty one. This one looks pretty good. This one's for you. Do you have any preferences for color or where you want me to put it or how big to make the signature? Totally up to you. I'll give you a minute because I know you are here. Let's see. All right, Spike Bebop says he's working on baking. Nice. What are you baking? I love stuff like that. It's so hard because a lot of my family is gluten-free and dairy-free, so we don't get all the good stuff. It's so hard to find good baked goods, you know, that are gluten-free. Occasionally we do. And then it's a nice treat. The gold is great, by the tail is good. Okay, yeah, I agree. My artist made a really nice area to put stuff, and you still get to see everything. So, yeah, peace. Peace is above all things. I'm gonna put these out of the way here. Yeah, this gold is really nice. It shows up so sparkly. All right. Here we go. Piece. Let's see, maybe down here. Peace is above all things. Here we go, Natalie. Coming your way. It's so hard to see with all the shiny. Peace is above all things, but so this is on its way to you. Thanks for coming. All right, I'm gonna put this somewhere safe, and I promise I won't lose it. Cool. Let's see. Oh, Spike says he's working on butterscotch cookies with cashew nuts. I'm practicing so I can start my own bakery. Yes! That's awesome. Can you make some gluten-free, dairy-free stuff? That would be amazing. It's hard to find. Oh, of course. You are welcome, Natalie. I'm glad you like it. That's cool. So, obviously, besides Tingyun, are there any other favorite characters you guys have been playing in the game? Who do you like to use on your teams? I'm curious. I try to use Tingyun a lot because I have to. She's my girl, right? But sometimes you just need the ones that deal out a lot of damage. And I notice she gets knocked down a lot. Man, they always go after her. Not fair. Leave Tingyun alone. You know? Spike says, VO piqued my interest last year. Oh, cool. Yeah. There is so much true. You know, when I started out, there wasn't a lot of info. There were only a few little sites that you could find work, and you'd have to join the forums and ask people. So I tried as much as I could to get advice from different people in voiceover. But now it's exploded, and there is so much information out there. I always like to send people to D. Bradley Baker's website. I want to be a voiceactor.com because he's got so much free info and resources if you want to learn more about it. I have an online course as well, and you can find that on my website. But the caveat is I did make it a couple years ago, and so it needs to be updated. Most of the info is still pretty valid, but I look like I'm 10 years old with braids, and it was before I had kids, so I look so young in it. It's hilarious. Yeah. You have two passions you need to balance. Yep. Baking and voiceover. You need to make a voiceover bakery. There you go. There's your idea. You'll make millions. You can do silly voices while you give people cookies. I mean, what could be better than that, really? D. Bradley Baker, so DEE, he is the guy who does all of the creature voices and just about everything. He's a great person to study if you want to do creature voices and sounds, or just, he's in everything. He's in Star Wars and Star Trek Prodigy, he's Murph, that kind of thing. So yeah, check out his page. There's a lot of good resources out there. And just follow Facebook groups. That's where I get a lot of info about voice acting. It's amazing. Social media can be a good thing or a bad thing, but I find when you're networking and trying to learn, that's a really good way to do it. Because voice actor people are some of the nicest bunch. You know, sometimes you can get some clicky on camera theater stuff, but most of the voice actors I've met, they love sharing knowledge and they love helping, and I'm so grateful for the ones that were willing to answer all my gazillion questions when I started out. So yeah. All right, let's move on. We got number 4 to Kim, and she's got the holo as well. I know, everybody loves the holo. They're so pretty. I was so happy I found this holo star shimmer stuff. So she says, "Hi Laci, I hope you're having a great day." I am, thank you. And can you write "Let's be friends," shall we? All right, feel free to add anything else. I love your work. Thank you so much, Kim. That is really cool. All right. Should I go with the gold or the silver? Let's see. Give a minute. I love that line too. Let's be friends, shall we? While she's fighting. I mean, who else is gonna ask to be friends and can we talk? I love it. That's totally what I would do if I was battling monsters. I'd just be like, leave me alone. Let me just stand back here with my fan and I'll watch you while you do all the fighting. I'm gonna try, I think, a silver, if you don't mind. I think that's gonna show up really nice. Yeah. We got a lot of sparkly gold on here already, so if you don't mind. Ooh, brand new, first time this one is used. Let's be friends, shall we? Some of the other cast members clued me on to these paint pens, and they said they come out really well, they last long, and Sharpies can kind of get streaky or smudgy sometimes. So far these have not. They're acrylic, so I mean, you don't want to scratch at them because it'll come off if you really scratch at it, but for the most part, there's all sorts of colors and they're really, really good for writing and drawing. Tell you what, I'll give you silver on the writing and gold on the signature. Ha ha ha, extra cool. Each signature is just slightly different. All right, let's be friends, shall we? Yeah. That turned out really cute. It's coming your way, Kim. All right. So let's see. Yeah, Tingyun has a good personality, so friendly. Yeah, she is. Although she can get ticked off sometimes. You know, I saw somebody post a comment. I know I shouldn't look at comments when people comment on like her character videos and stuff, but I just can't help it. I'm curious. I want to know if people like it. And somebody said, man, she has that edge that's just like a customer service person that's been working customer service too long. And absolutely right. Yes, I have worked in customer service. I worked at a department store. I worked at a grocery store. And sometimes you have to have a smile, but you really don't want to do things sometimes. And there are moments when she doesn't want to lead the team from the Astral Express around, and she's just kind of done and wants to hand them off. So yeah, they absolutely nailed that. That's totally what I was going for. So cool. Let's see what else on here. Oh yeah, Natalie, Branya and Kafka and Serval are some of my favorites. Okay, yeah. No, I don't usually use Branya because I have Dan Heng for the wind, so I use him a lot of the times, and, you know, I gotta use Tingyun. She's the support character. But I use Serval all the time because I like that she shocks all the lightning on multiple characters and not just one, so that's really helpful when you're fighting robots and things like that. Yeah. But I'm gonna try out a couple of new ones. There's some cool new characters coming up, getting released. Kafka, I know everybody's waiting for her. She's endlessly cool. There's a lot of awesome people in this cast. All right, number 5. We got another holo. Holo 8x10. I'm gonna run out of these holos. I need to get some more. I will. All right, so we got to Michael. All right, this one's coming to you, Michael. I'm gonna do silver on this one, just because. Make sure I spell your name right. Cool. To Michael. Here you go. Yeah, the silver shows up pretty nice. I can see it. These are gorgeous. Okay. I've got them laying out all around my floor. So many Tingyuns looking at me right now. And thank you for shopping with us. I say, welcome, benefactors. There are so many great lines. Do I play any other games other than Honkai Star Rail? Oh, yeah, of course. So we just got a PlayStation 5. I have been holding off for years. We always had the Switch because it had a lot more games for the kids and stuff. You know, we could all play Mario. And I finally got my PlayStation 5. So right now I have been... Well, before Honkai came out, I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn because Aloy, she's a redhead and she shoots bows and arrows and you get to like ride around on robot horses. Who doesn't love that, right? So I've been working my way through Horizon Zero Dawn and I want to do the other games. But then Honkai Star Rail came out and of course I had to play that. I wanted to play through to the part that I'm in and get to the Xianzhou, and that took a while and I just kind of got hooked and I wanted to do more and more and make sure I built up my characters. And I tried to go back to Horizon Zero Dawn the other day and it was so weird figuring out how to use the controllers again because I'm so used to my phone for playing Honkai. It's convenient, right? You could just, you know, if you're waiting somewhere, you can play Honkai on the go. But yeah, with PlayStation, there's a lot more controls you have to learn, so I gotta get back into that. And some other upcoming games I want to play. That one with the cat looks really fun, Stray, so I want to try that one as well. You guys have any suggestions for what I should do next? I love things like RPGs. I love the platformers, so, you know, Mario, mostly because things that are really 3D, I get really dizzy. So if the camera spins a lot, I'll get sick. I'll get a migraine all day, so it takes a while for me to get used to it. So I like the things that are not too shaky, something with a good storyline. Yeah, so put your suggestions in the comments. I want to hear. I know there's some really good games out there. Oh, and we were playing Star Trek Prodigy, too. They have a really good game with the original voice cast. I'm so sad that one came off. It's coming off the air, so I hope they bring it back. I hope another network picks it up, because that's one of my bucket list goals, too, is to be on a Star Trek series, animated. That would be really fun. All right. I think we have one more. Oh, somebody got the poster. 11 by 17. Look how pretty this turned out. It's a good size. Yeah. I don't know. I may have to keep one of these for myself. Put it up on the TARDIS. I don't know if you can see back there. That's where I record. It's a TARDIS from Doctor Who. Yep, I'm a geek. Unapologetically. Yeah. So I record in a TARDIS, and it's bigger on the inside. Anybody else watch Doctor Who? We're big fans. We have Daleks all around the place. I've got the sonic screwdriver, and every Christmas I made a little weeping angel tree topper. You know, the creepy weeping angel that covers its face. And I like to freak out the kids by moving it around when they're not looking. I'm so evil, I know. So it's fun to freak them out. I'll leave it on the stairs and they'll be like, how did that get there? It's mean. I'm gonna traumatize my poor children. But I'm raising them as geeks, so. All right, we got this beautiful 11 by 17 poster. And there's no name on this one. So if you would like your name on it, let me know. Okay, this doesn't have the holo. So I may do the gold because it's gonna show up really well on there. Wow, there's almost not even room on my table. I have to rearrange things. In my little pocket of clutter here. I'm not even going to show you what I'm looking at on the other side of the room because you have to step over all the kids' toys and music instruments and boxes and oi. Looks like an episode of Hoarders. All right, here we go. I'll do this one nice and big here. Oh, my gold needs to get more paint. Try and fix this here. That worked. Here is your poster. It's curling a bit. There we go. I'll flatten that out before I send it your way. Let that dry. This is fun. I am having a blast here. Okay. All right, I think that's all we got for the orders, but I will stay on here for a little bit and answer any questions or just, yeah, tell me what's going on with you. Let's see. Damon is both Blade and Laci. Yeah. Oh, he's a nice guy. I just met him recently. We had a cast hangout, went to an arcade, and it was so much fun to get to meet everybody. And there's still some people you guys haven't met because they haven't been announced yet. There's some surprises coming up, and I can't tell you about them, but you'll see them soon. Yeah. I don't want to leave Honkai Star Rail. I know. There's some good games out there. I know there's a lot that just came out with Genshin as well. I've only played that one a little bit, but I've got a lot of friends and colleagues in it. I just don't have enough time in the day to play them both. You know, when I'm on my phone, I'm always playing Honkai lately. I need more characters. Yep, I know. And there's more coming. There's so many more that you don't even know about. Yeah. It's a fun surprise. I know about some things, but not all of them. Oftentimes when you audition for video games, you get a whole packet of different characters that they want to hear, so sometimes that gives away some storylines. Ha ha ha. All right, let's see here. So yeah, tell me what's going on with you. Any other questions and stuff? I've been working on a whole bunch of stuff. Back here, if you could tell, I printed out Tingyun from all the side. She has such a fun design, I knew I had to try and do some cosplay, but I'm not exactly built like a teenager anymore. So I'm gonna modify it just a little bit. So I'm working on some cosplay back here. I took a little dress I found on clearance from Kohl's, and I chopped off the sleeves. I'm gonna kind of stitch it into her pattern, and make it a little longer and more comfortable to wear. And hopefully I can debut that to the next convention I go to. I don't think there's going to be time for San Diego Comic-Con this year. That's coming up soon. Is anybody else going? San Diego? That's the big one. It is, yeah, there's a lot of people. So I'm not sure I want to have the giant tail and everything and be walking around in heels in the crowd and in the heat there. So I may just do something a little comfier, maybe a brown tank top, and do the wig. I'm working on that wig behind me there. It doesn't look amazing yet, but so that's actually from Genshin Impact. Dea, I think is how you say her name, the character. It's one of those wigs, and I had to color in the blonde streaks. And I'm gonna chop it up and make layers and put it in a ponytail and everything, and that's gonna be really fun. I told her actress, I stole your wig. I'm gonna chop it up. Yeah. Oh, Honkai Cosplay, Natalie. Oh, awesome. Yeah, you should do Tingyun. There are so many fun ones to choose from, and some of them are fairly simple, and other ones like Zila. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be a tough one to do because they make these costumes so detailed. I mean, when you look at, like, when I was trying to study, she's got like these earring things. I thought they were earrings, so I'm like, okay, that should be easy enough. I'll make some earrings. So I 3D printed them. Yeah, we got a 3D printer. We're geeks. Got it off Craigslist, okay? And I 3D printed them. Somebody has already made a file of Tingyun design, so I was able to print that out. And then I realized they're combs. And they're not very long combs either. So she's wearing them kind of in the back here, and I'm not entirely sure how to make it stay in the wig. You guys have any ideas? Because it's got the pokey bits. I don't know. Do I wrap something around that? Do I like glue it in the wig or ram it into my head? I don't know. But yeah, there's some very detailed pieces, and if you 3D print them, you can get the detail. Can you guess which part that is of her costume? One of them fell off, the little charms. They're like bells. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I'm having fun with it. I like creative challenges. I like putting together cosplay from scratch. Or what's easier is I go to thrift stores or I go look at the clearance racks and I find things that are already kind of the basic structure and I chop them all up because it's a lot easier than making something from scratch with fabric. I'm not great at that. So I'm going to do my best on this cosplay. I've also got the, you can't forget the fluffy tail. It looks like an intestine or something right now, doesn't it? But I did this with yarn, so I still got to do all the rest of the tail. But if you take little pieces of yarn and you comb them out with a dog brush, they actually get really fluffy and soft. And if you take a hair straightener to it, it gets even straighter. So I think this is gonna be perfect for Tingyun's tail. If I can sit there and comb out all that yarn for hours and hours and hours and add it on there, it's gonna be worth it. I need my fluffy tail. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, anybody going to any other conventions this year? There's some good ones. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where I end up going to. It can be hard with the kids and everything, and I like to go just as a fan and walk around too. Some of the ones we really like are WonderCon and LA Comic Con. That is extra fun. Oh, okay, Natalie. She says using wire works if you attach it to the inside of the wigs. Okay, yeah, with the animal ears, they do that as well. I will check that out. And I'm sorry, my moderator here is saying that you may have gotten timed out with your comments. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out, this is my first stream, and I'm trying to figure out all the settings, and so I apologize if some of you guys get cut off for commenting too much. I'm gonna adjust that in the future. But yeah, thanks for that tip. I'm gonna check out some cosplay videos and see what works. I'm kind of doing that with the ears too. Where did it go? So yeah, here's one of the Tingyun ears. It's also yarn and like some foam on the bottom, and I did the wire like to give the shape inside. So this can either go down through the wig and just kind of put it in the wig cap, or I'm also trying, I put magnets on the bottom, and I put other magnets through the wig cap, and then hopefully it'll just kind of click into place. I'm not sure if it's going to be strong enough, so I may need to do the wire and the magnets. But you gotta have the ears. I don't want them falling off all day and messing with that. So I'm gonna work on those some more and workshop it and see if I can get that to work well. Wow, it is 2:41 already. How did that happen? I'm so glad you guys came, and it's not just me. I really appreciate everybody buying the prints and supporting my artist. I love to see her work get out there more. I've been following her for years, and you can find her on Twitter and Instagram at Alina Lalik. She is amazing, and I think she's doing some other commissions for some Honkai Star Rail characters, so make sure you look for her as well. And I'm hoping I can get some more commissions too pretty soon. I'm working on finding some other artists with some different styles and maybe get some cool Tingyun prints, and maybe even some for my work on Shadowverse. I don't have any of Eleanor Gloria, so I'm gonna work on getting those as well. Now, I'm also curious, guys, I wanted to put up in the store some of these stickers that I designed, because I always see those cute little anime peeker stickers where they got the little people peeking out the windows. We need a Tingyun one. I mean, the ears and the fans, so I made one. She's so cute. But I cannot decide what size to make them. I don't know if we want a small size or like a medium-ish size, or for peeker stickers like on the car, do they need to be pretty big? I'm gonna put this one on my booth window, so she's always peeking out of the booth. Yeah, so what I need your help with, let me know. Would you want a small one, or like a medium-sized one for a computer, or a big one for a car or something, or your window? What do you think? Tell me in the comments, because I'm going to decide and put some of these up in the store, or maybe on my website, or maybe I will throw a few of the small ones in for you guys today that came. Also, I can't decide what colors. What looks best with her? So I got blue, like a teal blue. What do you think? That's option 1. I got like a sage green. It kind of matches her fan. That's number 2. I've got kind of a dark red orange maybe. That works really, really well with her coloring, because she's got, you know, the red bits in her dresses and in the sash. And then I did this one. It's kind of a sunset, so it goes from yellow to red. I like that one a lot too. And then last option, I did kind of a rainbow gradient. That one's pretty cool too. So I can't decide. There's so many choices. Yeah, bigger is better for cars. That's what I think too. Downside is that you can only fit one on a page, so it's a little tougher to print. And then if I print these and offer them, you may have to put UV film to overlay it so that it doesn't get, if it gets wet or from the sun or something. That's the downside of making them for car stickers, I'm finding out. But I'm gonna attempt a couple things on my own car and kind of see what holds up, and then I will list it in the shop for you guys. Now, if I send you some of these little ones I have lying here around, what color do you guys want? Let me know. I'll maybe throw one in there for you, 'cause I want to share. They're so cute. trying to keep track of comments and sales and all that stuff going on. Oh, by the way, you guys will probably want to check out next Saturday at 5 p.m. We are having a group signing through Streamily. So it will be, I need to find out where it's going to be. I think it's going to be on Streamily's page, but a whole bunch of the cast is going to be there. And you don't have to buy anything either. Just show up. Just come say hi, because we're all going to be chatting and hanging out, and it's a great bunch of people. I've never been part of a video game cast where everybody talks to each other and encourages each other and celebrates each other when all the announcements come out. We have our own little Discord and chats that we all celebrate when fan art comes out and says, oh, hey, look at this one I found of your character. And everybody has just been so welcoming and sweet. And there are a lot of people that are pros that have been in all sorts of games, and they know their stuff, and they've been so kind with sharing information about how to go about signings and conventions and how to handle, all the different things that come along with voicing a video game character. And they've been so kind with their time, so I'm really grateful for them. They're pretty awesome. So yeah, come see us next Saturday, and we're all going to be there at once. So that'll be fun. You like the rainbow gradient, Natalie? Yeah. Or the red. Okay. I know, they're all really nice. So maybe I just need to make like one of each color and just randomly pick one. I don't know. I'll put them all everywhere on my wall, all at once. Thousands of Tingyuns. My family's gonna get sick of her. I do have to say, it is really weird hearing my kids play the game and hearing myself die multiple times a day. they'll be sitting there playing, and I'll hear, and then it's me. That's odd. That's one of the fun things about recording video games, is you get to do all the effort sounds, and they always throw things at you like, okay, now you're on fire. Oh, now you got punched in the chest. Now it's in the stomach. And you have to think about all the different ways that would sound different. And until you do it, you don't really think too much about what that might sound like. Is the intake of air? Is it Is it out? All sorts of different things. How do you scream without hurting yourself? How do you do I got hurt a little bit, but not a lot, versus, oh, this is a killing blow. What kind of sounds would I make? So that's why I love doing video games, because it's creative, and you never know what you're going to show up to. That's fun as well. Oftentimes we'll get there and we don't even know what we're going to be recording that day, what the storyline is. So it's a surprise. A lot of times it's a cold read. That happened a lot with this game, is I didn't know what was coming next. And so there were some fun surprises to get to do. Yeah. I love that. It's great getting the variety. Alrighty. Well, we are getting up to the end of the hour. I'll stay on just a bit longer. Thank you guys for coming today. You made my first streaming go very well. It was fun. Thank you. Yeah, anything else you guys want to know? I am an open book. It's been really fun working on this game. And I love this character. She's awesome. Seems difficult screaming for a while. Must hurt your throat. Yeah. There's, I took some classes. I took one with D. Bradley Baker, and I took one with a couple of other people that are vocal specialists, because I was finding that as well, as sometimes if you do a session where you're asked to scream, you just instantly scream in the way you might in real life. And then you realize that wears on you after, the third, fourth take of that. You start getting a little haggard. So oftentimes they'll put that at the end of the session. And if they don't, you should ask for them to do that, because it kind of can wreck your voice. Gotta hydrate well, and then learn to use your voice in a way where you're not using your throat to scream quite as much. You might throw in one if you want to get that death gurgle. You gotta use your throat to some point. But a lot of us have learned how to almost sing a scream out, if that makes sense. It's almost it's using your voice in a way that where you're not tensing up your throat. It's almost like singing and pushing the air out in a safe, healthy way that doesn't engage the tension in your throat. And that takes time. You got to learn how to do it right. And while you're practicing, you often hurt your voice until you figure out how to do it right. So that can be difficult. I also do a lot of toys and creature work. So for the little toys that make little sounds and, you know, the all that kind of thing, that can tense up your throat as well. So you got to kind of practice and study and figure out how to do it in a healthy way where you're not going to wreck your sessions if you have any coming up for the week. I also find if we go to a theme park or if I don't get enough sleep, you're riding rides, you're going to yell, you're going to scream, you're going to talk over each other to be heard in a crowd. And oftentimes the next day I'm kind of hoarse, and that can cause an issue when you're a voice actor. So I try to be as careful as I can and try not to scream on roller coasters. I'll sing, you know, instead of screaming. But there are also times when you're just, you know, you'll yell at the kids to pick up their toys, that kind of thing, or you get surprised by something and it can mess up your throat somewhat. So you have to be careful and hydrate. And I use steamers when I have the vocally strenuous stuff. I have one called Vocal Mist that's like a little I don't want to say inhaler. I can't think of the word. It's it like gives you water particles that you breathe in, and it hydrates your throat. I can't think of the right word. If you can remember what that might be, let me know. It's not an inhaler and it's not a steamer. It's vocal mist, and it's like saline. That's really useful and portable, so you can do it before a session and it kind of hydrates you and warms you up. Another thing, experiencing being on fire or getting hit. Yes, one of my very first video games was a zombie game called Contagion. And that was, wow, I was surprised. I thought I knew what video game voice acting was, but I forgot about the exertion part. So that was brand new for me. And my first session, they asked me all sorts of ways for my character to die, because she was a playable character, you know, fighting off zombies. And I remember some of them were like, okay, you're stabbed with a knife. Now you're on fire. Now you're drowning. Now you're falling while on fire. And all those have to sound different. And you've got to do it with just your voice and not get off mic by, you know, waving around too much. So I had to come up with all these like agonizing death screams of different situations of you're a little bit on fire, now you're a lot on fire, now you're really hurt, and oh my goodness. It takes some imagination, and it's also wise to warn your neighbors, because you can imagine some poor lady screaming like she's caught on fire. I wonder what they were thinking at the time, because I didn't have a booth back then. I was in my closet, surrounded by sleeping bags and blankets and things like that, just holed up at my little closet booth, screaming my lungs out. And oh goodness, my neighbors must have hated me. So anytime I've moved, I now warn people. I say, okay, just so you know, I'm a voice actor, so if you hear screaming or weird monster sounds, it's just me. Yeah, it is very fun. But things you don't think about, yeah. Everybody always assumes when you do voice acting, it's just animation, you know, or silly voices or impressions or commercials. But there's so many other things to take into account that is wise to study. And one of them is vocal coaching, like for singing and speaking. That's helped me a lot. So when I have to do those exertion sounds or long sessions or yelling, learning how to use your air well and learning how to project but not blow out the microphone and how to work the microphone, that's been useful. And how to shift the placement of your voice from down in your chest to up into your nose to make different character sounds. I got a lot of that from singing practice and from coaches that would teach me how to do that without hurting my throat. So that's a useful thing to study too. I'm glad sleeping bags can dampen sounds. Yeah, absolutely. I think I also had some of those egg foam mattress toppers because, I was just getting started. I wanted to find as cheap as possible. So I went on my neighborhood Buy Nothing group, like the free cycle group, where people just kind of give away things that they don't need anymore, or you can ask for something specific. So I posted on there, I'm looking for old mattress toppers, and sure enough, somebody down the street had some that they were getting rid of. So I just I cut them up. They were the little wavy kind, and they look just like audio foam. They're not quite as thick, so they don't capture the sound absorption and stop the echoes quite as much. But anything like that is going to help bounce the sound waves off, so you don't get echoes in your space, and that helped. Yeah. There's so much you can do without a booth. I remember recording very late at night in my closet so that there wasn't nighttime, sounds of kids running around and lawnmowers outside. But then you'd get the jets going overhead in the middle of the night, and you'd be in the middle of a take, and then all of a sudden, and you'd have to stop and pause. And I think a lot of us start out that way in our little closet booths or our pillow forts, and it's valid. It's a way to get practice. It's a way to start those first jobs and auditions, and we all started that way. It takes time to build up to where you can get a booth and good equipment and things. Many years for me, but I'm grateful for that. What has been your favorite character to voice? Oh, that's like choosing between my kids. It's so hard. There are some that never came to be that I can't even tell you about. That's the hard part of, we have to sign NDAs for a lot of things. So sometimes you'll do a project that you love and then it falls through and you don't get to talk about it. So there are a few there that were my favorite that I'm sad won't see the light of day, but maybe someday. We'll see. Tingyun has been one of my favorites for sure. Probably her and Eleanor from Shadowverse, because they were kind of the first characters where I got to do something somewhat original and kind of shape the character and make their voice. It was more of that than like a voice match. Like when I first started, a lot of times it was a voice match. I think one of my first things was doing Twilight Sparkle's voice for a Hasbro show overseas, and things like that were super fun, especially because I love My Little Pony, but you're matching somebody else's voice and their performance and their take on the character. And while it's a blast and I loved it, I always wanted to kind of do something where I could put my own spin on the character and make her like me. And I think there's a bit of myself in Tingyun. She's got that kind of snarky hidden side, but everything is said with a smile, and I can be that way at times. I made her a little sweeter, maybe than a lot of the characters that I voice, and it's so funny because so many of the characters that I voice in video games sound a lot more like March 7th. Sometimes my husband thinks that's me when we're playing, and he hears March 7th's voice, because that's more of the typical realm that my voice falls in for video game stuff. But Tingyun had this elegant air about her that was so much fun to just kind of be, kind of relaxed, but at the same time, she knows everything that's going on, and she's kind of controlling things around her. She knows exactly what she's doing, but always does it with a smile and kind of disarms people that may be wanting to hurt her with her talking. And I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, I can't wait to see where more of her story goes. As everything continues and there's more and more updates, it's going to be really fun to see. So yeah, that's probably been one of my favorite characters for sure. Oh, and the other one was Skyo. He's the little, he was like a little toy. He's got to be around here. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. See that little blue thing behind my Tingyun? I've got him wrapped around the thing there. It sits on your wrist and it jabbers at you. So that was my first toy. And I got to rap in gibberish. And they wanted each one to sound slightly different. So the different color rapples, one is like Japanese, one is Spanish, they said they wanted this one to sound slightly Italian. Not not like the stereotype or anything, but more like take pieces of the language so that each one seems like they're from a different region, but it's gibberish. So that was really fun to kind of come up with, okay, now he's angry. Rattle off some slightly Italian gibberish. So I love the creativity of doing stuff like that. Sometimes the creature voices, and you make it up on the go. There's no script other than they tell you a feeling, or they give you a song beat and you have to rap in gibberish. So that's another one of my favorite characters. And I get to have him here and annoy everybody else while they listen to me jabber on in gibberish. It's super fun. Yeah. So this has been fun. I like getting to answer questions for you guys. Hopefully, I can see some of you at some conventions and stuff this next year. If there's any you particularly want to go to, I often go as a fan, but if you would like to see me be on a panel or a signing table or things like that, or be a guest, let the convention promoters know. You actually have to tell them, and then they invite us. So that's the way to get us, or any of your favorite actors, if you want to get the Honkai Star Rail cast out. Let the convention people know that you want to see us, and yeah, we'd love to come meet you guys and hang out with you. So you can do that. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys around. I'll be maybe at San Diego, maybe at LA, and yeah. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you got to be here too, Natalie. If you see me walking around at a con, come say hello. Just look for the giant fluffy tail. So many people are going to be petting this. I'm just going to pet it all the time. She says, Tingyun, she says she brushes out her tail at the end of the night and wraps it in silk and brushes it, I don't know, something like 200 times. I can't remember the line. But she said she takes more care of her tail than I think the other Foxians and the Sanjo. And she takes pride in her beautiful tail hair. So that's why it's big and it's fluffier than most of the other Foxians, because she takes special care with it. So of course I have to make the biggest tail, and that's hard to buy online. So I'm going to make it. So yeah, look for the fluffy tail. All right, guys, I think we are coming up to 3 o'clock here. Nebulizer. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Thanks, Josh. Nebulizer. Yeah, the one I use is Vocal Mist. It's a nebulizer. So if your voice is hurting, you put in some saline water, and that's going to help you. You practice 2 times a week, Spike? Yeah, that's great. Singing lessons. Yeah, I'm going back through the comments now. It is super helpful. I've been singing all my life, and sometimes getting a knowledgeable coach, you think you know things about singing. He pulled all sorts of things out of me that I didn't realize that the human body could do with your vocal cords and how you shift the air and that kind of thing. So I always tell everybody going into voiceover, it's so smart to do singing lessons. Even if you're not a great singer, it's more about learning to place your air, and that helps a lot with characters and just the stamina. Like if you're doing an audiobook, you're going to be sitting there for hours, and you got to not tire and have enough breath to get through it. So yeah, that is important. Oh, by the way, speaking of singing, have you guys seen the Interstellar Journey cover on YouTube? Don Hung's voice actor put that together for the English cast and pulled in a whole bunch of us, and we did the song cover of Honkai Star Rail's Interstellar Journey, and it turned out pretty awesome, if I say so myself. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, look it up on YouTube. He is very talented the way he mixed it all, and he wrote all the lyrics in the second half as well, so I'm so impressed. So check that out if you get a chance. All right, guys, I think I'm going to sign off here. Let me double check and make sure I didn't miss anybody. Here we go. Nope, looks like we're all caught up. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to get these prints out to you guys as soon as I possibly can. I'm going to find out the best way to do that and get that in your hands. And I enjoyed signing for you guys and talking to you for a bit. hopefully we can meet someday in real life, so it's not just me talking to myself on the screen. But it's been fun. Thank you. All right, so, and I will maybe stick some of these stickers in there for you. Did you, Natalie, did you want rainbow or red? What do you think? Since I see you in the comments. I'll wait and see. I don't know. I'll throw one in there for you, though. All right. Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming. I think I'm going to sign off now, and I'm so glad this all worked out. I'm learning all this software and figuring out how to stream, and it looks like it worked. Rainbow, please. Okay, I got you, Natalie. We will do that. I like the rainbow, too. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of partial to it because it's pretty. It's so pretty. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It was good to talk to y'all and meet you. And yeah, drop in next Saturday at 5 p.m. if you guys want to see the whole cast. Just doing a Q&A and talking. It's going to be pretty fun. So, yeah. All right. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your weekend. And I will chat with you maybe sometime soon. Thank you, guys.